In 2005, there was a recession hit. Every bank was working. People needed money. Transactions has to happen. Now, who are the people who are finance graduates who have knowledge of IT plus who are having knowledge of finance good? Now, they never lost their job.
So, is AI knowledge also required for as a finance graduate or accountant? Not.
So today, suppose if there is a transaction, I'm doing it, okay, and I'll tell ChatGPT, please record a journal entry. It can't. Today, the value of SAP driven or SAP knowledgeable person is more compared to the other software guys.
So, finance or accounting side interest undi enter avudam anukunna valaki. Other than SAP, what other routes are there?
This is actually a very good question.
Okay.
The reason is
ఈ లేఆఫ్స్ గురించి మాట్లాడుకుంటే ఫినాన్స్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ ద వన్స్ లైక్ కాస్ట్ కట్టింగ్ ఎక్కడ చేయాలి, ఎక్కడ తగ్గించాలి, కంపెనీస్ కాస్ట్ అనేది ఇవన్నీ డిసైడ్ చేసేది ఫినాన్స్ గ్రాడ్యుయేట్. హాయ్ నితేష్ గారు.
హలో.
యా, సో చెప్పండి, అసలు మీరు సిఏ చేశారు, సిఏ చేసి ఇప్పుడు స్టూడెంట్స్ని ట్రైన్ చేస్తున్నారు. మే నో ఎ లిటిల్ బిట్ ఆఫ్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ అబౌట్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్, లైక్ అసలు సిఏ ఎట్లా అనిపించింది, ఎప్పుడు కంప్లీట్ చేశారు, లైక్ ఎంత టఫ్ అయింది సిఏ?
So it's been 10 years. I completed my CA. May 2015 was the day where I wrote my exam. So appudu exams rasanu and when I cleared. And to tell all the viewers, and you also, I completed my CA in first attempt.
Wow.
And it was not something which is ante anta tough ga ledu. Only thing is how are you preparing. కానీ దీనికి బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ యూనిట్ సపోర్ట్, మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్లీ ఫైనాన్షియల్ సపోర్ట్ కంటే ఫ్యామిలీ సపోర్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఉంటుంది. ఎందుకంటే నేను మీకు క్వశ్చన్ అడుగుతాను సింపుల్గా. వెన్ యూ కంప్లీట్ యువర్ 10th క్లాస్ యూ హ్యావ్ 2 ఆప్షన్స్. యూ నీడ్ టు చూస్ సైన్స్ తీసుకోవాలా లేకపోతే కామర్స్ తీసుకోవాలా. సైన్స్లో మళ్ళీ యూ హ్యావ్ 2 categories. యూ వాంట్ టు గో ఫర్ కెమికల్స్ అండ్ దట్ ఆల్ డాక్టర్ అండ్ ఆల్, ఆర్ యూ వాంట్ టు గో ఫర్ దట్ టెక్నాలజీ వేర్ యూ వాంట్ టు బి బీటెక్. సో ఇన్ ఎ స్టూడెంట్స్ లైఫ్, just imagine he is at 14 years or 15 years, completed 10th, and suddenly he has to choose his life's biggest decision. Maturity level, you understand enta untundi, like very less. Here most importantly parents or their I would say their well wishers, వాళ్ళందరూ వస్తారు, వాళ్ళు చెప్తారు. కొంతమంది అంటారు అకౌంటింగ్ బాగుంటుంది, కొంతమంది అంటారు సాఫ్ట్వేర్ సైడ్ వెళ్ళాలి, some say డాక్టర్ చేయాలి, some say different courses. But for this everything foundation మన దగ్గర ఉన్న ఇంటర్మీడియట్ లో 4 కోర్సులు in తెలంగాణ. You take MPC, BIPC, CEC and MEC. MEC, CEC completely towards finance, BIPC is again towards your chemicals and all. Where MPC you take it, it's all about understanding the code. But important part in that, for all these courses, everybody are 4 pillars, I would say. Like we have 4 pillars in democracy. These 4 courses are pillars for each and everybody. Without accounting, there is no technology. Without technology, there is no science. Without science, there is no any person who can sustain, I would say. Endukante enta accounting lo software required undi, anta technology kuda kavali. But nowadays, olden days lo ela untundi, a person if he learning software will be great enough, his recognition will be wonderful, right? But nowadays the things are like AI ostundi, this AI. But if I go and ask a vintage person what is an AI, he did not understand what is it. So now he should understand that software is also needed and he needs accounting knowledge also. But imagine a person who understands little bit of software, okay, and he understands finance well. So combination of this will be highly valued, right? Always. So ilane in our accounting system also we have so many tools, where SAP is one of the biggest tool. The importance of SAP is like it has been in worldwide more than 60% company use it. Rest of the 40% companies వాళ్ళు maybe internal ga they might develop a software or they might be dependent on some third parties. Now when I talk about SAP specifically, మన ఇండియాలో కూడా చాలా మార్కెట్ ఉంది. And why do I say this? ఎందుకంటే like after you complete your finance and if you know a tool which can help you generate some huge revenue. See normally a BCom student ఉంటాడు, అతను వెళ్తాడు for a job, maybe he might earn very less, but if he knows a software and he goes for an interview, that will be more better, or I would say higher, or he will be standing out of the crowd. So that is one of the importance where software is needed. But also thing is we hear this noise every time and చాలా మంది అంటారు తెలుసో తెలియకో రిజిస్ట్రేషన్ వస్తుంది మాకు జాబ్ వెళ్ళిపోతుంది అది ఐటీ సైడ్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ కంప్లీట్ అయిపోయేసరికి మనకు తీసేస్తారు అలాంటి భయం ఉంటుంది బట్ యూ టేకప్ 2005 ఇయర్ ఇండియా వాజ్ ఇన్ రిసెషన్ ఆ టైంలో ఐ సా దట్ మోర్ దెన్ లైక్ 30-40 ఐటీ ఎంప్లాయీస్ లాస్ట్ దిస్ జాబ్ అండ్ yesterday's news only like today we are talking yesterday there were layoffs across the world in Microsoft, say Google, and in Tech Mahindra some 20-25% odd layoffs were there. Now why this layoffs? Because project is completed and now they don't have to do anything. They have to just sit and wait. But for example, if you are in finance, in 2005 there was a recession hit. Every bank was working, people needed money, transactions has to happen. System is needed, people are needed. Now who are the people who are finance graduates who have knowledge of IT plus who are having knowledge of finance good? Now they never lost their job. So there is one thing which I can say, job security is wonderful in finance. So this is something which I learned personally also because I saw my father, he was also working in a bank. Days came where in the newspaper they said that this bank will be closed down, but trust me, the bank is still there and he's about to retire in a month or two now. So that is something, you know, finance gives you. But imagine if you know software also and you can implement those techniques in finance, then you will be like one in a crowd, definitely. And people like that, we need it. I might work in some MNC company, etc. But suppose if I take a person who only knows something and he does not understand about these accounting softwares, etc., difficulty will be there for him to take him. So this is, I would say, important part, that a person who is having knowledge of finance should also have knowledge of software as well. And there is one more advantageous situation where suppose if a person knows coding also, little bit of coding in the software, where he can understand, suppose if a software is going wrong somewhere, because he has finance knowledge, something is going against the software, he can understand and he can connect with the people who are sitting on the other side. A connectivity easy ga untundi. Once a connectivity established ayindante ataniki problem emundo explain cheyadam easy అయిపోతుంది. నేను మీకు ఇంకో ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తాను. లైక్ 2012 ఫస్ట్ టైం జిఎస్టీ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేస్తారని చెప్పారు. బట్ బై ద టైమ్ జిఎస్టీ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ అయింది, ఇట్ వాజ్ అబౌట్ 2014 ఆడ్. ఓకే, సో లాస్ట్ 10 years వీఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ జిఎస్టీ. సో అన్ని పాత సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ ఉండే, దాంట్లో వీ హ్యాడ్ వ్యాట్, సేల్స్ ట్యాక్స్, ఎక్సైజ్, ఎక్సెట్రా ఇవన్నీ ఉండే, రైట్? సో నౌ సడన్ గా ఒక సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఒక గవర్నమెంట్ డెసిషన్ తీసుకుంటుంది అండ్ దే సే దట్ వీ నీడ్ complete change. So నేను మార్నింగ్ లేస్తాను, యాజ్ అన్ అకౌంటెంట్ I do billing, I do cash, everything. అక్కడ అన్ని రేట్స్ రిలేటెడ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ వాజ్ వ్యాట్, సర్వీస్ ట్యాక్స్, ఎక్సెట్రా. కానీ నాకు సడన్ గా చేంజ్ కావాలి, ఐ హ్యావ్ టు కన్వర్ట్ దట్ కంప్లీట్లీ ఇంటూ జిఎస్టీ. సో ఐ నీడ్ సపోర్ట్. నౌ టు కన్వర్ట్ దట్ సపోర్ట్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు చేంజ్ ద సాఫ్ట్వేర్. నౌ టు చేంజ్ దట్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఐ నీడ్ ఏ పర్సన్ హూ కెన్ అండర్స్టాండ్ అకౌంటింగ్ నాలెడ్జ్ ప్లస్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ నాలెడ్జ్. ఎక్కడ ఏ ప్లేస్ లో కరెక్ట్ గా రావాలి అది నేర్చుకుంటే, and imagine a person who is having this dual knowledge will be highly valued.
But 1990s కానీ ఆ ఎరా చూసుకుంటే అప్పుడు సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ అంటే అనేవి అంత నీడ్ లేదు.
కరెక్ట్.
సో దెన్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ నాలెడ్జ్ అంత అవసరం లేదు అకౌంటెంట్స్. బట్ ఇప్పుడు మాత్రం కంపల్సరీ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ నాలెడ్జ్ అనేది కంపల్సరీ.
yes it is needed.
అండ్ టుడే ఏఐ వచ్చేసింది. సో ఈజ్ ఏఐ నాలెడ్జ్ ఆల్సో రిక్వైర్డ్ ఫర్ యాజ్ అ ఫినాన్స్ గ్రాడ్యుయేట్ ఆర్ అకౌంటింగ్?
Actually there are two thoughts. ఒకటేమో పాజిటివ్ సైడ్ ఉంది, ఒకటేమో నెగటివ్ సైడ్ ఉంది. ఎందుకంటే I have seen this first time when ChatGPT was introduced. Okay, I'm taking ChatGPT as an example. So our institute, because I am a CA, they tested this. Okay, that they wanted to write ChatGPT examination instead of a CA student.
Okay,
ChatGPT scored less marks, but here students scored higher marks.
Got high marks.
So therefore analytics can be done in ChatGPT in a faster manner, but that human thinking, something is not there. So today suppose if there is a transaction, I'm doing it, okay, and I'll tell ChatGPT please record a journal entry. It can't, because it has some set rules and regulations. The thinking process it can't do. So therefore I would say always software kante human mind is like more superior comparatively. But since you have asked a question that in 1990s era we only did not need that much software, but why do we need now? See, I will tell one thing is India is growing from that age to this age, like we have crossed more than like 2 centuries, and in this 2 decades, in these 2 decades most of the work which we are doing is in volume. It's not that something which is different. ఆ టైంలో అకౌంటింగ్ అలానే ఉంది, ఈ టైంలో అకౌంటింగ్ అలానే ఉంది, but the volume of the work has increased. Who will take the load of it? So therefore we needed that resources, so we have to go for it. If we stop getting that need, then there is no need for a software.
Okay.
Accountants will flourish. They can use bookkeeping and they can do everything.
Hmm.
So having said that, see, one thing is all the softwares can handle load, but you know, SAP is designed typically for all purpose solutions. When I say all purpose solutions, for example, naku oka industry open cheyali, that industry is specifically into oil mining.
Okay.
Oil mining, okay? So imagine what would I account when I needed that into SAP. But SAP has designed a software that oil mining and how many, you know, from top, from bottom, how should I account? It has given that knowledge. So actually నిజం చెప్పాలి అంటే other software are there in the market, but SAP gives you more wide coverage.
Okay.
And you name one particular industry, they will provide a solution. They are that strong. And if you know this, actually I'll tell background about SAP, okay? This, you know, IBM International Business
Yes.
Machine, this tech. So the software SAP was designed by technical people only. They never had a thought process that tomorrow నేను ఒక సాఫ్ట్వేర్ తయారు చేసిన అది అకౌంటింగ్ హెల్ప్ అవుతుందండి. నో, ద ఇనిషియల్ ఎయిమ్ ఫర్ SAP వాస్ for technology people only.
Okay.
So IBM employees came out, and that time when SAP introduced supercomputers were there. Slowest in processing, 1980s. We used to call third generation, fourth generation of computers. Ala unnappudu they bought it, and once slowly they started increasing their market, then they understood that we have to have a robust software which should have everything. Now I give an example, this industry, it should accept it. That industry, it should accept it. Whatever is the name of it, it should accept it, and it should provide the solution to it.
Okay.
And if I would say, today the value of SAP driven or SAP knowledgeable person is more compared to the other software guys, because in SAP it provides, I would say, employment for all the category of people. You take it technology, you take it finance, but end of the day, one small discouragement will be there to the technology people, that suppose if a software is introduced, initially they will work very hard, highly paid. Once the software is developed, people are not needed. We only need people for maintaining that. So suppose 100 people worked on that software, I need only 2 people to maintain, because maximum there will be some errors. So I'll be maintaining one error dictionary. Ee error same cheyali, error same cheyali, error same cheyali. But 100 people have worked, maybe 100 people can give that software to 1000 employees who are working in finance. So that 1000 employees can use that software. So ఇది ఇలా ఉంటుంది. But I'm not discouraging anywhere that technology is bad. We are using technology, but only thing is there are some disadvantages also and advantages also. So both the sides, it is greater good.
Especially load of work పెరిగినప్పుడు technology will help.
Obviously, it will, anytime it will help. And it is very important to analyze what is your load. See, sometimes companies ఏం చేస్తారంటే తన load ఎలా ఉందో they will not analyze. But suddenly after knowing, they will say we'll increase the staff. But later on what they say, no, instead of increase the staff, we'll actually go for technology.
Okay.
So now once the technology is in, what happens to the older people? There will be a difficulty. And one of the beauty of SAP is, suppose a new version comes into the market. ఇది ఒక చాలా పెద్ద myth అంటాను నేను. Myth అంటే like unanswered question. Erstwhile, like 4-5 years back, if you see, SAP FICO antaru.
FICO, yeah.
Now they are calling S4 HANA.
Okay.
So is there something different? Answer is pretty simple and easy. A person who knows how to use Android mobile, which is ages one. Now if I give him latest Android, which is their Jelly Bean, whatever you call it, he will be able to use that. Maybe some new features are added. I take one more upgraded version of Android, I can use that. I'm capable. The reason is why I have used the old phones, I know how it works. Now the same thing will be there. So any software which comes into, already unna features untai. Plus we'll have some additional features also. So these additional features are there in SAP S/4HANA just for the purpose of, you know, our own ease of doing business kosame adi ochindi. So if you say that S/4HANA is something different, FICO is something different, answer is no. S/4HANA is extension of FICO. It has got some good features, some, you know, easy accessible tools, etc. So now people who know FICO can shift to S/4HANA. Answer is 100% yes. They need little bit of support. They need little bit of guidance about it. And we have so many institutes around which are helping people to, you know, gather this knowledge and give them that right guidance. So you can use that resources and you can happily go for it.
Okay.
So therefore, I would say S/4HANA or FICO, whatever is it, you will find one step solution wherever you go. But you should have trained people for that. So that is one of the important requirement as well.
Okay, got it. If somebody knows coding, like loves coding, okay, is from a coding background, అతనికి SAP చూస్ చేసుకోవచ్చా? చూస్ చేసుకుంటే will he have a career?
Yes, obviously he will. See, coding ante there are again two ways, okay? One, nowadays what is happening is AI is giving them codes. and they are putting it, they are preparing some apps, etc. A person who is thinking from a, you know, user's point of view is different, thinking
Okay.
from a perspective of a coding is different. ఓ యూజర్ కి సొల్యూషన్ ఏం కావాలి అతని చేతిలో వస్తే then his coding way will definitely change.
Yeah.
Now suppose for example I take SAP as an okay, in SAP what happens is I am a front end user because I know finance and I can use only front side of it, but on the background to run that I need a person who definitely knows coding plus knowledge of finance as well. Now if he starts using his coding skills there and if he changes, like I said, from VAT to GST వచ్చింది అంటే నేను అది కోడింగ్ చేంజ్ చేయాల్సింది, అప్పుడే సాఫ్ట్వేర్ రన్ అవ్వాల్సింది. So he will have definitely that knowledge, but in addition he should also have knowledge of a person who is sitting on the front side. Okay. Because that connectivity lekapothe then you, how much ever you do the coding, end of the day the result might not be the same which is expected.
Okay.
So that is more important.
Okay. యూజువల్లీ ఎస్ఏపి అనేది చాలా పెద్ద కంపెనీస్ మాత్రమే యూజ్ చేస్తారు, లైక్ ఎంఎన్సి కంపెనీస్ లాంటివి. సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద మినిమం స్కేల్ ఆఫ్ ఎ బిజినెస్ ఎస్ఏపి ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేయాలంటే ఒక బిజినెస్ లో ఎంత ఉండాలి ఆ బిజినెస్ అనేది? How much should they spend or something like that?
See, in India what I have seen is from ground level I have seen companies using smaller to smaller to biggest I have seen. You won't believe, I have seen one company whose turnover was about 3 crores per annum. They implemented SAP. What was the need? Really they don't know, but they implemented the SAP because they thought that if SAP is there in our books, we go to any foreign market and we say that what type of accounting you are using SAP, then that prestige will automatically increase. It is like as if you are coming in a BMW rather than coming in some other cars. So that makes a difference.
Vaade softwares kuda adi
it makes a difference.
Off, like.
Yeah. It always makes it. And trust me, this has happened. I have seen with my eyes, okay? Like how contracts are coming based upon the accounting software. Yeah, yes, they are happening. So in India, if you want to establish, I'll tell you the data in 2014 or 15. I have done one implementation. So the license was about 14 lakhs odd, and yearly you have to pay about lakh or lakh and half for maintaining 7 licenses together. So that was the cost of the software that time, and it was like for business purpose only. So you have different level of versions in that. The way you go, the number of users you increase, the cost will increase. Otherwise, you will have SAP basic version which will be available at very lower cost and companies can afford it.
Okay.
So that is possible.
Okay. So SAP లో చాలా మాడ్యూల్స్ ఉంటాయి కదా, లైక్ SD అంటారు, FICO you just talking about. So ఆ మాడ్యూల్స్ అన్నిట్లో లైక్ వాట్ ఈస్ ద డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ దోస్ మాడ్యూల్స్? అలా ఒక ఫ్రెషర్ కనుక SAP లో ఎంటర్ అవ్వాలంటే ఏ మాడ్యూల్ చూస్ చేసుకుంటేనో కరెక్ట్, లైక్ ఎక్కువ గ్రోత్ ఉంటుంది, సంథింగ్ లైక్
normally SAP is designed for technical people as well as non-technical. If you ask me related to finance, okay, so we have SD, which is sales and distribution. We have metals management. We have procure to payment, order to cash. We have bank recs. Like this, we have so many modules. If I would say that there is nothing called as a module, there is something called as menu. So for example, you have your Android mobile, that is called as an SAP. In that you have WhatsApp, you might have Facebook, you might have Economic Times, you have 10 apps. Like this, these are the 10 apps within one software. Okay. So what happens is I go pick up that particular menu, I start working on it.
Yes.
That itself is called as a module. Okay. So there is no much difference. And one more thing is some modules are integrated to another modules also.
Okay.
So I perform some function here, the resultant function will be having in some other module also.
Okay.
So some are interconnected. So a person who is into finance, he has to understand the channelization of this model. This is one of the most important part of SAP is understand how the data flows. If a person is able to establish the data flow from start to end, then trust me, he will be more valued in the organization.
Okay.
And coming to back to modules, see there is no specific requirement in the industry that you have to know only SD or MM. As a SAP consultant, if you are able to know how module works, how the data flows, that is more important rather than just, because end of the day, as an accountant, if I say my responsibility to ensure that I should give accurate company results, nothing but financial statements. So every data I have to collect from all the modules. So I should have a knowledge of all the modules. If suppose I'm having only one module specific knowledge and I don't have other modules, then I should be interdependent, and maybe there is a possibility that I might not be able to cope up with the existing trends.
Okay.
So therefore, working knowledge of the modules is something which is very important.
Okay. I got your point, but దీనికి 2 కాంట్రాడిక్టింగ్ థింగ్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఒకటి ఏంటంటే హైరింగ్ అనేది మాడ్యూల్ వైజ్ జరుగుతుంది బయట, లైక్ ఇఫ్ యూ సర్చ్ ఫర్ జాబ్స్ ఇన్ నౌకరీ ఆర్ లింక్డ్ఇన్, సో మాడ్యూల్ వైజ్ జరుగుతుంది. సెకండ్ థింగ్ ఏంటి అంటే ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫికో మాడ్యూల్ తీసుకుని ఓన్లీ ఫినాన్స్
yeah.
సో వాళ్ళ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ ఫినాన్స్ లేకపోయింది అనుకోండి అప్పుడు ఫికోలో ఎంటర్ అయ్యి మేబీ దే కాంట్ అండర్స్టాండ్ ఫ్యూ థింగ్స్ కదా సో ఈ టూ స్టేట్మెంట్స్ ని మీరు ఏమంటారు
First one, yes, you are right that hiring is happening based upon modules. The only reason is in India we have flourishing MNCs. Okay, I would when I say flourishing, it's like daily one new MNC comes, they'll say we are hiring some 200 people, 300 people. Now they cannot put everybody to work on same modules together. So they need some subject matter expert for that. So what they do is they will develop that person to such an extent that he is good at that module, but he needs basics again. Now we really don't know whether I'll be getting picked up for that P2P module or MM module. I don't know. But because company will be sitting somewhere in some country, I'll be sitting here, I'll be doing the accounting. So basic knowledge, if I have it, I can go there, increase my knowledge and knowledge base. That will be greatest. The second question what you have asked, that so background, see, as far as I understood, there is no specific requirement to know or to have knowledge. You can directly walk into any institute and say that I want to learn SAP basics. They will 100% allow you. See, when we are talking about SAP, it is learning a tool. We are not actually teaching finance. And you go to any company, what happens is they will not teach them finance. They will teach how the software works. You take up any job. First, they will teach how the software works, because a person who is not knowing how to use the software, he goes and clicks some button. Suddenly, some crash happens. It will impact so many people who are working. So what they do is they'll first ensure that మీరు ఫస్ట్ ఒకసారి ఆ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ మీద ట్రైనింగ్ ఇచ్చుకున్న తర్వాత ఇఫ్ ద ట్రైనింగ్ ఇస్ గుడ్ దెన్ దే విల్ టెల్ హిమ్ ఓకే గో సిట్ దేర్ యూ విల్ స్టార్ట్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ద సాఫ్ట్వేర్. ఆయనకి ఎస్ఓపి కూడా ఇస్తారు, ఒక్కొక్కసారి డెమోలో కూడా పెట్టి తర్వాత దే విల్ బ్రింగ్ హిమ్ టు ద సీట్ అండ్ మేక్ హిమ్ సెట్. సో దేర్ ఫోర్ నాలెడ్జ్ బేస్ రిక్వైర్డ్ ఫర్ లర్నింగ్ ఎస్ఏపి ఈజ్, ఐ వుడ్ సే, ఇఫ్ యూ ఆర్ ఇంటర్మీడియట్ క్వాలిఫైడ్ హూ నోస్ హౌ టు టాక్ ఇన్ ఇంగ్లీష్ ఈజ్ సఫిషియంట్. Rest can be taken care because you're learning a tool. Okay.
Yeah. If somebody is learning and ఎవరైనా SAP నేర్చుకొని జాబ్ జాయిన్ అవుతాం అనుకుంటే, వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఫర్ ఎ ఫ్రెషర్ జస్ట్ గ్రాడ్యుయేట్ అయ్యి నేర్చుకొని ఎంటర్ అవుతాం అనుకుంటే ఫీల్డ్ లోకి, వాట్ ఈస్ ద అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ పీరియడ్ ఎన్ని మంత్స్ పడుతుంది, అండ్ ఆల్సో వాట్ ఈస్ ద రోడ్ మ్యాప్ దట్ యూ సజెస్ట్?
Suppose if he has imagine that a student has completed his graduation, he has taken up some certification course for SAP and he has learned some basics. Now from completing his graduation to learning the entire basics, hardly it might take 3-4 months, not more than that. So that is the shortest span. And once he goes for an interview, once he is selected, to get into real production, means really sitting and working in the field, hardly it takes more 2 months. So 3 months is you have to spend. After that, once you join the job, maybe if the training period is 3 months or 4 months, company will pay you and make you train. So that is the beauty of the company. So
they'll only train.
Yes, they will train you, and for that training, their area is giving salary monthly, right? So you are sitting, getting the training and getting the salary. So now once you develop your knowledge, it is how good you are using the knowledge. So allow to know.
So 5 months max.
Minimum 5 months. Yes.
Okay, got it. సో ఇది నేను ఎక్కడో విన్నాను, బట్ ఐ డోంట్ నో ఇఫ్ ఇట్స్ ట్రూ, మీరే చెప్పాలి. రైట్, SAP లైసెన్స్ కాస్ట్ వెరీ హై, చాలా కాస్ట్ ఉంటుంది, ఓన్లీ బిజినెసెస్ వాళ్ళు మాత్రమే కొనగలరు. సో ట్రైనింగ్ ఇచ్చేటప్పుడు ఆ లైసెన్స్ అనేది ప్రొవైడ్ చేయలేరు కొన్ని ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్స్ అని. సో ఇస్ దట్ ఎంతవరకు కరెక్ట్?
దిస్ ఇస్ నాట్ కరెక్ట్. సో SAP వాళ్ళు డిజైన్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఏం చేస్తారంటే దే ప్రిపేర్ 2 varieties. One is for training purposes to students and one for business purposes. Training purposes వచ్చే SAP, it will not be that high cost at all. The latest version of the software, if I want to take a demo, hardly they'll charge me about 1,500 to 2,000 for 2 months or 3 months. So I can use that, and it's a open-ended software. It's a demo, and SAP runs on a blockchain technology. So I think people who are techies might understand that blockchain means they are not allowed to edit anything, and they're not allowed to delete also. So if I put an entry inside it, then it will be there forever. I can only mark for deletion. It will be there in the system, but it will not be deleted. Even by administrator also, it can't be deleted. So cost is very, very low, available in the market. There are many providers who are giving this demo license, and you can use this demo for all purposes. Like it is as good as, it's a toy which is given to you. You tear it to the extent possible and understand what is there inside it. Then once you get into the organization, right, all this tearing, whatever you have done, will be easy. If you have the license in the hand, still you don't tear it, then it's of no use.
Definitely.
So that is something which is available.
Software అనేది మనం ఎంత క్యూరియస్ గా దాన్ని ఎక్స్ప్లోర్ చేస్తేనే అంత ఎక్కువ నేర్చుకోవాలి.
Whatever, see, it is an ocean. People say Excel is an ocean. SAP is also an ocean. to the extent you know go inside the SAP, try to deep dig whatever you want to, you do it, because it's a demo.
Yeah.
End of the day, nothing will happen. Some person who is sitting on the other side will refresh with one click. Whatever you know unnecessary things are there will go for garbage.
Yeah.
Simple. Again, the software looks new and next day morning. So therefore there is no issue at all. But in production you can't do it.
Okay.
You are only allowed to click those buttons which are allowed. So therefore in the demo it is available. It's at lower cost only, not at high cost. Anybody can afford it.
Okay.
Yeah.
సో ఫినాన్స్ ఆర్ అకౌంటింగ్ సైడ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉండి ఎంటర్ అవుదాం అనుకున్న వాళ్ళకి, అదర్ దాన్ ఎస్ఏపి, వాట్ అదర్ రూట్స్ ఆర్ దేర్?
This is actually a very good question.
Okay.
The reason is I am seeing the market currently.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and in the market I would say some specific sectors in the finance which are like highly booming today in industry. Take fund accounting.
Fund accounting, okay.
Yes, one. Second, you see private equity, hedge funds,
Okay.
loans, and you have final, which is banking. Banking is evergreen in India because every morning you get up and till the night you sleep. Nowadays you are making minimum to minimum 5 payments through your UPI apps or anything.
Yeah.
And that is needed, or the way is coming from the banking, right? So that is one thing which is evergreen any day. This fund accounting, private equity, hedge funds which I'm talking about, now this is something which is very new to Indian people, but it's already existing since last 10-15 years. Not that much in number, but now last about 2 or 3 years, people are about like more than 10 to 15,000 employees are here being just hired for that role, and they are working. So imagine in a span of 3 years, about more than 15 to 20,000 people are working for this sector. It's very high in number. You can't just, you know, and this is completely new companies, okay? Not old companies which are already existing. New companies came into India and different locations. I would say, in fact, if with the place where I'm working, in that campus, there are about more than 500 companies. In that 500 companies, about 200 companies are into fund accounting specifically, and they are giving jobs to all these people. But the knowledge base which is needed is you should have good accounting. You understand the concepts. Tools, yes. Tools is again not that mandatory, but if you are a computer savvy and techie, you will be greatly hired.
Okay. సో ఎస్ఏపి కాకుండా మిగతా రోల్స్ కానీ మిగతా సైట్స్ వెళ్ళాలనుకునే వాళ్ళకి, లైక్ వాట్ ఆర్ ద ఆపర్చునిటీస్ అవైలబుల్ ఇన్ ఇండియా రైట్ నౌ? లైక్ ఆఫర్స్, జాబ్ ఆఫర్స్ ఉన్నాయా, లేదంటే కనుక దే షుడ్ స్టార్ట్ దేర్ ఓన్ ప్రైవేట్ ఈక్విటీనా, లేదంటే ఎట్లాగా?
See, for people who have already business setups, they can go for the business.
Okay.
For the people who don't have businesses, right, and they want to come into employment, yes, we have a lot of opportunities. And as I'm telling you, you can pick up fund accounting or private equity or hedge funds from entry level to managerial positions and even above. There are so many positions which are right now also open, but there are no worthy candidates. So what makes them worthy is simple having that accounting knowledge.
Okay. బట్ ఐ ఆల్సో థింక్ అవేర్నెస్ కూడా తక్కువ ఉంది అనుకుంటున్నాను. ఎందుకంటే నేను కూడా విన్నా చాలా మంది ఎస్ఏపిలో 12 lakh per annum వచ్చిందంట ప్యాకేజ్, జాబ్ వచ్చిందంట, ఎస్ఏపిలో 24 lakh per annum జాబ్ వచ్చిందంట, ఇట్లానే వింటాం. కానీ హెడ్జ్ ఫండ్ లో జాయిన్ అయ్యారంట, లేదంటే కనుక ప్రైవేట్ ఈక్విటీలో జాయిన్ అయ్యారు. ఈవెన్ ఐ డోంట్ నో ఐఐఎమ్స్ లో ఐఐటీస్ లో ఎట్లా ఉంటుందో తెలియదు, కానీ అట్లీస్ట్ ఇన్ Tier 2, Tier 3 కాలేజెస్ లో అయితే అసలు నెవర్, లైక్ ఎస్ఏపి తప్ప ఇంకోటి తెలియదు.
That's what I'm telling you. Last 3-4 years this trend came into. So by the time it comes to colleges and everything, it will still take more 5 years that to know that okay, there is something called as fund accounting, something called as private equity, and our government by the time it realizes and changes the textbooks, more 15 years will be down. But to get this awareness, yes, there should be some way. See, I would say if you have any peers who are working or colleagues who are working, they might refer, then tell that okay, this particular field is there. Until that, if I also suppose I am a chartered accountant, maybe for 3 years 4 years back, if you ask me what is fund accounting, I would say what is it? I really did not know that. Now in that fund accounting also there are so many streams actually. So awareness is very little lower. So that I think we should have some awareness sessions on it to make people know that there is this fund accounting and private equity which are in boom, and mostly they are MNCs and highly paid jobs. And as you said, SAP, I got 12 lakh per annum, 24 lakh per annum packages. Those were for SAP consultants who are good at finance as well as who are coding. What happens is, I am a person who can implement software. I know, his language, I know software language both. So I am compulsory one guy who is an asset. So my revenues will be high. So what happens is, suppose some company calls me and tells me to do an SAP implementation.
Okay.
Then I'll send this guy who is knowing everything. He'll do it and come back. And imagine, I have couple of friends, okay, who you said the same
Yeah.
thing, and they are also doing this. I know one friend who has flied about more than 70 countries in 2 years
Wow.
for doing this SAP implementations across so many countries.
Ah.
Now, how 70 countries? Bigger business bases are there.
Hmm.
So one country they do it, complete it, they'll go to the other country and they do
Okay.
it. Like this, 2 years he has flown for about 70 countries.
Mhm.
And you can understand that he, whatever money he has earned is kept aside.
Ah.
And going to other countries, different perks are coming.
Company will pay.
Yeah,
Ah.
company will pay you and additional money will be paid to you. So he's earning high. So that package can be kept aside,
Yeah.
and this is something which is very high. But again, I'm telling you, end of the day, the basics are important. You should have thorough knowledge, and the time you spend yourself in learning the things, trust me, these numbers are like coming back to you anyways. That is more important.
Okay. So accounting is the basics for all these, or is there anything else? Like
As I said, if you want to learn SAP, intermediate is sufficient.
intermediate. Okay.
Yes, after intermediate, if you are good at English, you can happily go for SAP course, understand the software, understanding the tool, right?
Mhm.
Then, as a part of coding, you want to learn the coding, right? You have to take up one coding course, which will be hardly 45 days or 50 days odd. Which is available in so many institutes. Then you will understand the coding, come to the SAP work.
Okay.
This BTech knowledge, whatever is given, is for certificate purposes. But a person who is having the knowledge, he can go directly and he can start pursuing. But yes, end of the day, degree is also important, because viewers should not understand that without degree I can go.
Uh-huh.
No, degree is also very important. They have to pursue degree. It will actually make an added advantage. If you have seen, so many job applications nowadays I've seen, they'll like mention like this: they need a BTech, they need an MBA. Why BTech and MBA both are different, right? But they need that. In MBA, you don't have technology, only very smaller in number, or I would say the quantity is very less. But he's a technical guy with MBA, means imagine what companies are nowadays needing the person. So if a person is BTech plus MBA, he's given more advantage. Only BTech, no. I have seen people who have completed BTech and they are doing PhD in some particular commerce subject. So the reason is market is asked.
Okay.
So basically the market ask is like that. You go to investment banking, they'll say BTech graduates, we know to understand there are so many softwares in investment banking. I need a person who understands software. For understanding the investment, I need finance guy also. But combination of both, again I need it.
Yeah.
So that is how it is. So what people are doing nowadays is, if they are BTech candidates also, they are going for SAP, they are going for some financial courses, understanding, they are going for MBA. Then they are grabbing this, hot seats, and they're enjoying the money.
ఓకే సో బీటెక్ గ్రాడ్యుయేట్స్ కి బయటకు వచ్చిన తర్వాత చాలా ఆప్షన్స్ ఉన్నాయి లైక్ కెరీర్
Very much,
చాయిసెస్
yeah.
లైక్ దే కెన్ గో ఫర్ ఎస్ఏపి ఆర్ లేదంటే ఏదన్నా పైథాన్ జావా లాంటివి నేర్చుకుని అటు వెళ్ళొచ్చు.
Yeah.
ఓకే లేదంటే కనుక ఇంకా మార్కెటింగ్ సైడ్ కానీ సేల్స్ సైడ్ కానీ అటు వెళ్ళొచ్చు. సో దే హ్యావ్ లాట్స్ ఆఫ్ ఆపర్చునిటీ. చాలా కన్ఫ్యూజన్లో ఉన్నారు. సో వాళ్ళని అకౌంటింగ్ ఆర్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ వైపు గైడ్ చేయడానికి ఆర్ ఏం మోటివేట్ చేయాలి, లైక్ వాళ్ళు ఎవరు చూస్ చేసుకోవచ్చు ఈ పాత్ అనేది, అన్ని ఆప్షన్స్ ఉండగా?
Yeah, see, BTech lo ipudu there are students who are more keen in learning. Suppose if he's a computer science, he knows computer is good, and now he completed his BTech. Now only thing is whether he can go for a job, technology lo cheyala leda, నాకు డబ్బు ఎక్కువ వస్తుందా లేదా, మెయిన్ ఇంటెన్షన్ అది ఉంటుంది, నాకు డబ్బు ఎక్కువ వస్తుందా లేదా. సపోజ్ ఇది లేదు, నాకు కనిపించట్లేదు అంటే ఐ విల్ ఫైండ్ సమ్ కోర్స్. ఇక్కడ మోస్ట్ ఈజియెస్ట్ కోర్సెస్ ఆర్ ఫైనాన్స్ కోర్సెస్.
ఓకే.
And if you go for anything which is coding, again it is difficult. I can watch, suppose I take a course on Python or that Java or anything, particular companies I have to pick it up. Whereas if I take any finance course, I can take anything. Any company I go, department will be same, work will be same. Only the thing is company's name might change. So that flexibility you can get it. And I'm telling you, BTech guys, you don't have to worry. If you are not getting any that particular jobs in that area, you can learn a tool and you can help finance people happily. And by learning little bit of finance, you can actually, grace your knowledge to the extent that even people can't reach you.
Okay.
That can be done.
So they will have technology ఉంటుంది, వాళ్ళకి finance knowledge ఉంటుంది, like
Yes.
this unstoppable.
And yeah, in fact, and I would say, if I talk to you, I give you some example, you might not understand, okay? But suppose if I talk in terms of money, they'll grab like this.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
So that is
And
something.
also interest కూడా ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది వినేటప్పుడు.
When we talk about money, right?
Yeah.
People will be more interested.
Yeah.
And you tell me why people are investing in stock markets.
Money.
money. And BTech graduates, you take up, doctors also do it. Why do they do it? They want money. Suppose, and in the stock market, they'll be listening, they'll be saying, okay, the numbers are going down, numbers are going up, and they'll understand, okay, if this is coming, I have to pay tax. How much tax I have to pay? Okay, that day our Nirmalamma has said so and so tax has to be paid. So we'll go for that. So like that, they also do some calculations. They have so much of ability. See, nobody in India, I would say specifically, will first they will try themselves. If they are not comfortable, they go to Google. Google also does not answer the question. Then they come to professionals. Otherwise, I would say the learning power, the keen interest towards knowing the things is very high in India. So any person who is any kind of a graduate, if he wants to come into finance, I would literally welcome them, because we need people. See, I might not need a person who is completely from finance from childhood. Okay, he might have completed his BTech. You won't believe, I have seen so many chartered accountants. Okay, who are like CA is very reputed course in India. BTech completed, they came into CA, they completed the CA, and they also got some all India ranks as well. So now what makes the difference there? Only the keen interest. How much they are focused on it. That only makes the difference. Otherwise, there is something. See, today if I want to learn Python or Java, maybe I might not be able to, because I am completely diving into finance now. But people who are at their verge of a career start, they have options. And I would say 3 years is something after your career, you can give all the tries. After 3 years, maybe you can stick to one. 3 years is very longer time. You can happily think what you can do. And nobody will even question you. And in finance specifically, nobody will ask that blunt question, what have you done last 3 years? These questions might not be coming to you. When you explain that, I was doing this activities. That way, their interviews also will be very good.
Career gap unna sare appudu chance anevi untayi.
I have seen people with career gap of 5 years also. They came back again, they started working. Maybe not that much amount of remuneration, but relatively little less because of that gap. Otherwise, yes, they are working very good.
సో యూజువల్లీ ఎంఎన్సీస్ లో బీటెక్ వాళ్ళకి ఎక్కువ ప్రిఫరెన్స్ ఉంటుంది. సో డిగ్రీ వాళ్ళకి అంత ప్రిఫరెన్స్ ఉండదు ఎంఎన్సీస్ లో, ఎస్పెషల్లీ ఐఎమ్ నాట్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ ఆల్ కంపెనీస్, ఎంఎన్సీస్ లో. సో డిగ్రీ వాళ్ళు కూడా బీటెక్ వాళ్ళతో ఆన్ పార్ గా వాళ్ళు సాలరీస్ రావాలి అంటే వాట్ అదర్ థింగ్స్ దే షుడ్ లెర్న్ ఆర్ ఏం చేయాలి?
See, basically for getting higher salaries, it's all about how much you have knowledge. Suppose if you are just a BTech graduate, then you will be getting that whatever average salaries in the market. You completed MTech, you will be paid more. You completed 2-3 certifications, you will be further paid more. Suppose if you have done something very exceptional, maybe you might get a chance to fly. So that makes a difference. So suppose if you are sitting at one place, come job, give me nice money. No, it's not going to happen, boss. You have to, open up yourself, talk to the people, understand the market. And to understand the market, we have so many institutes who are doing career guidance. Even if you take up your own professors who have actually given you coaching during your BTech, etc., they might give you a good knowledge. But if you don't talk or speak up, trust me, nobody can help you, boss.
సో బీటెక్ అయినా సరే, డిగ్రీ నుంచి వచ్చినా సరే, ఎవరికైనా ఈక్వల్ ఆపర్చునిటీస్ ఉంటాయి.
Opportunities are very much equal, yes. But one advantage for finance people is, if recession comes, right, jobs are safe. That is true.
Yeah, if you guys can take away something from that this video, this is one line.
Akka.
Yeah, recession ochina sare, layoffs
will not be there, because every day morning you get up, you have an expense, and that has to be accounted for, sure. So that is needed. Whether you have money, you don't have money, you have to survive. That is survival benefit.
So layoffs undava, like software anta undakapochu, but
I have never seen, until a person is removed from the organization through firing. Otherwise, or he self resigns it. Otherwise, I have not seen where a department has closed down, a process has closed down, a project is completed. No. Never. I would clearly say, I have worked in about 4 companies, and when I was working in my beginning career, so first 5 years, I have traveled across 7 to 8 cities in India, worked with 15-20 different companies, different sectors of the companies, because I was into audit. So all these sectors, I have seen people losing their jobs, etc. But finance was intact. I'll give you one example. Okay, it's open in the internet. You have heard about Snapdeal, right?
Yes, Snapdeal.
Yeah, Snapdeal, one of the e-commerce platform. You know what has happened? I was doing one of the audit for Snapdeal. It was a logistics review in Delhi. So in Snapdeal campus, there are about 3 to 4 buildings, and in the entire buildings, about workforce will be around 1,500 to 1,600 people are there. So one corporate building, one for support and one for logistics, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing logistics review there. So one day suddenly, what has happened is outside the Snapdeal office, they were like people were talking about something. So when I went inside, then I understood that there were layoffs happening.
Okay.
Okay, and these layoffs are the people who are supporting all Snapdeal software, etc. and all.
Mm-hmm.
And within a span of about 10 days, I think odd, about more than 500 people were moved, given that 2 months salary, or they said 2 months salary and just move, we'll give you experience letter. Now people who have been sitting in this company, what has actually really happened?
Yeah.
Downfall of Snapdeal has happened
Yes,
that
yes.
time. That is the reason
Yes.
they wanted to lay off the employees. And whom to lay off? All the support staff, all the techies who are using that software, developing that software.
Hmm.
I wanted only 10 people in the department, make them only two. Two people will sustain. That's it. Remaining it, I don't need it. What these people were doing, they were holding cups, chai dalna, idhar udhar ghumna, means they are moving around in the offices here and there. They were doing this idling. So people saw it, management saw it, we don't need them. Trust me, we will have to cut off. So they just removed everything. And after removing, Snapdeal is still running. It is online. You have still the software, everything is running. There was a corporate building, nobody was laid off. Everybody was sitting because they had their own jobs to do and nothing was a problem. So I have seen that with my eyes, and trust me, that was very horrific incident, because I was sitting in that building where all techies were there, and suddenly watchman says, "Sir, aaj ye building band hai. You have to go and sit in that building."
Okay.
That's how it has happened. So this layoffs I have seen personally with my eyes, and I was like, it was very terrifying. So then I thought, okay, thank God I'm into finance.
Yeah, yeah.
Nothing has happened as of now.
ఓకే సో ఈ లేఆఫ్స్ గురించి మాట్లాడుకుంటే ఫినాన్స్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ ద వన్స్ లైక్ కాస్ట్ కట్టింగ్ ఎక్కడ చేయాలి, ఎక్కడ తగ్గించాలి, కంపెనీస్ కాస్ట్ అనేది ఇవన్నీ డిసైడ్ చేసేది ఫినాన్స్ అకౌంటెంట్సే కదా. సో
see, you are asking the indirect reasons for layoffs.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, for any base, you need some paper. On that paper, some cost should be there.
Yeah.
That this is the cost which has been incurred in the last year. And this is the revenue which has got out from this cost. Ante, suppose imagine I start a small business, I invest 1 lakh rupees. ఆ 1,00,000 రూపాయలు పెట్టిన తర్వాత నాకు 1,50,000 ప్రాఫిట్ వస్తుందా, లేకపోతే 10,000 వస్తుందా, లేదంటే నేను ఒక ఎక్స్ట్రా వర్కర్ పెట్టుకుని ఆయనకు డబ్బులు వేస్ట్గా ఇస్తున్నాను ఆలోచిస్తాను. సో ఎలా? బేస్డ్ ఆన్ హిస్టారిక్ రిపోర్ట్స్. హిస్టారిక్ రిపోర్ట్స్ లో కాస్ట్ ఎక్కువ ఉంది అంటే దానికి సపోర్ట్ చేసే ఫంక్షనే ఫైనాన్స్.
So reason.
Yeah, I would say that one of the reason finance, but not completely. Endukante they give you the numbers, because the accuracy of numbers is very important thing, and once numbers are there, management will be able to take decision.
Yes.
And the entire stock market today, all the analysts, they do numbers only, right? So they take numbers and they start making decisions to whether price will go up, price will go down. So therefore support function is always finance. They provide the details and cost details, whatever is it. If you are running a company, you have 2 ACs in one room, then your boss will think whether mother is needed is not.
Yeah.
That is the cost cutting.
Okay. But anyway, I support the layoffs actually. ఎందుకంటే layoffs అనేవి ఎంప్లాయీ పర్స్పెక్టివ్ లో చూస్తే రాంగ్ అనిపిస్తుంది. ఎందుకంటే సడన్ గా తీసేయడం అనేది, బికాస్ దే వోంట్ హ్యావ్ ఎనీ బ్యాకప్, కొంతమందికి సేవింగ్స్ ఉండవు. బట్ ఫ్రమ్ ఎ కంపెనీస్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూ నుంచి చూస్తే లేఆఫ్స్ ఎందుకు జరుగుతాయి అంటే క్యాష్ క్రంచ్. వాళ్ళ బిజినెస్ లో అమౌంట్ మనీ సరిగ్గా లేవు, పే చేయడానికి అంత లేవు.
యాక్చువల్ గా అది రీజన్ కాకూడదు. దట్ ఇస్ నాట్ ద రీజన్. ద రీజన్ ఇస్, suppose I am running a software company, okay? I have seen this very companies do this, okay? ఒక సాఫ్ట్వేర్ డెవలప్ చేయాలి అంటే client says I need 100 people to develop that. Now client will say we have a 10-year contract, I'll pay for all this hourly basis or person basis, I'll pay. Software is developed, everything is wonderful. Now the client says software is done, right? Why do I have to pay you? Give me back my software as per the agreement, done. Over. Therefore now what do the employees need to do? They have to sit, wait for another company. But if the another project is not able to come up, another project says only 50 employees are needed, only 50 are kept, 50 are moved. That's straight.
Okay. Yeah.
And I have seen so many startup companies, okay? They literally tell the employees, if you take a leave, get out, we don't want you.
Okay.
If you take unnecessary unplanned leave, we don't need you. Because they are focused on complete trial and error concept. They employ, and finally they understood that cost is getting higher and higher and higher. Suddenly they'll move out.
Okay.
This is biggest reason is not having specified, or I would say required amount of projects. If projects are there, yes, trust me, you will have your employees. But if the projects are not there, then what is the need of the people? You can't make them sit and eat, right? Yeah.
Okay. ఇప్పుడు ఇందాకే మాట్లాడుకున్నాం లైక్ ఫినాన్స్ ఇస్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ లైక్ లే ఆఫ్ ప్రూఫ్ అని చెప్పేసి.
Yep.
సో ఫినాన్స్ ఆర్ అకౌంటింగ్ రిలేటెడ్ ఎంప్లాయీస్ కి ఈ డేంజర్ ఉండదు, లైక్ ప్రాజెక్ట్ అయిపోయిన వెంటనే వాళ్ళు అవసరం లేదు.
One place it might have happened, and ఇది కూడా ఎలా అంటే ఐ హ్యావ్ సీన్ వాట్ కంపెనీస్ డూ ఇస్ వాళ్ళు చిన్న చిన్న కంపెనీస్ మళ్ళీ ఫ్లోట్ చేసేసి వాళ్ళు దాంట్లో మూవ్ చేస్తారు. రియల్ ఎస్టేట్ ఈస్ అ వేర్ ప్లేస్ వేర్ యూ కెన్ సీ ఎంప్లాయీస్ మైట్ బి రిమూవ్డ్, బికాజ్ అక్కడ ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే ఒక ప్రాజెక్ట్ కోసం ఎంప్లాయీస్ కావాల్సి వస్తుంది. ఒక్కసారి ఆ ప్రాజెక్ట్ కంప్లీట్ అయిపోయింది అంటే దెన్ ఓన్లీ మెయింటెనెన్స్ విల్ బి దేర్. ఫర్ దట్ ఐ మైట్ నాట్ బి నీడింగ్ మచ్ పీపుల్. వాట్ ఐ డూ ఇస్ ఐ విల్ సే సమ్ ఎంప్లాయీస్ టు మూవ్, but I will tell them where to move, because in my understanding I know couple of companies where I have worked for infrastructure development. Their project was there, 100-200 employees were there. Suddenly the project got completed, only reduced to 50, but these 50 employees actually got different places again jobs. Within a short span, within 2 months, 1 month only they got the jobs. So that market is available because you are experienced, you have accounts knowledge, everything, right? So that is an added advantage.
ఓకే. ఇప్పుడు ఏఐ వచ్చేసిన తర్వాత ఎక్కువ చేంజెస్ అనేవి జరగడం వల్ల ట్రాన్స్ఫర్మేషన్ వల్ల లే ఆఫ్స్ కూడా ఎక్కువ అవుతున్నాయి మేబీ.
నాట్ ఇన్ ఫైనాన్స్ అగైన్ ఐ వుడ్ సే.
నాట్ ఇన్ ఫైనాన్స్. ఓకే. అంటే ఫైనాన్స్ లో ఏఐ ఇంకా ఎంటర్ అవ్వలేదా, లేదంటే అసలు ఇంపాక్ట్ చేయదా?
No. Finance లో AI has entered already. And today also we see so many things which are automatically done. Like automation in the sense we might use some softwares like SAP, or we might use some softwares which are online like website driven. So what happens is, suppose if I want one person to create a vendor in my software like SAP, what I'll do is I will not create myself. I will give one link to him, to the vendor, and say, do one thing boss, go there, use your credentials and prepare everything in your vendor. Whatever documents are asking, you upload it. Once it is coming to us, I'll just hit approve button. Now I don't need a person who is doing this bookkeeping job, but I gave this to vendor. So maybe this one person's job is lost because of this automation. So that person used to actually collect the documents, prepare everything. That is not happening. So maybe the person is actually not getting a job if he is not having the right skills. I would say that. Not layoff, but yes, AI is actually reducing the effort, or I would say it is more efficient way of getting the things done.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you Nitesh garu, like చాలా వాల్యుబుల్ ఇన్సైట్స్ ఇచ్చారు అకౌంటింగ్ అండ్ ఆల్సో SAP రిలేటెడ్ ఫీల్డ్స్ మీద. సో సెషన్ ఎండ్ చేసే ముందు ఒక చిన్న ఫన్ యాక్టివిటీ చేద్దాం. లైక్ దేర్ ఆర్ డిఫరెంట్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ పీపుల్, లైక్ స్టూడెంట్స్ చాలా ఎడ్యుకేషన్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్స్ నుంచి వస్తూ ఉంటారు. సో ఐ టెల్ ఈచ్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్, అండ్ వాళ్ళు అకౌంటింగ్ కానీ SAP కానీ ఫీల్డ్ ఎంటర్ అవ్వాలంటే వాళ్ళకి ఏమేమి సజెషన్స్ ఇస్తారు. లైక్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ బీటెక్ గ్రాడ్యుయేట్ ఇస్ ఎంటరింగ్, shifting like they want to enter this field, so how should they plan their career?
See, for a BTech graduate I would say, suppose if you are not good in IT, if you are unable to handle that IT pressure, you come to finance, you take an MBA course, come to finance along with an MBA, take some basic course, okay, understand one or two tools you have to learn. There are tools in market like Tally, Focus, SAP, things. These softwares are there, even QuickBooks. You learn these softwares and then you can grab any opportunity. So that is very easy, and it will not actually harm anybody. Even in the interview, suppose if they ask you why have you taken BTech and after that so and so, then you can say that you're not interested in technology, you are more interested towards process driven job. So that would be the answer.
Or BCom graduate,
suppose a BCom graduate wants to shift to BTech. Now his
not
perception
BTech. He wants to enter into this accounting, this field and all.
For him I would definitely say, since you have completed the graduation, suppose if you are not good at basics, then try to ensure that you go for any other certification. There are many available. Or go for some higher course like MCom, and then you come to industry. Happily you can. Otherwise you don't want to do this, still companies will take you as a process executive normally, but they will train you 100%. Okay.
Yeah. BSc computers,
same thing.
Want to enter,
they can directly come likewise BTech graduate, or they can enter like a fresher. Both are allowed.
Intermediate graduate,
intermediate we have places for interns and process executives, but would be suggested that if you guys can learn some certification courses. See, when you are not able to complete degree, some certificate will help you, or will actually lift you, so that is more important.
BBA or MBA?
BBA MBA is already a management course, so suppose if you are not good at subject, good in management, then you have to learn the subject boss, because there is no place for only MBAs in India. I have seen that.
Someone with 5-year career gap.
5 years career gap might be two reasons. Okay, suppose if you are on a any sabbatical, like you are doing some course, or just you left the job and 5 years you did business or something, and then you want to come back, then you have to accept two things. One is a lesser pay. Second, you will be definitely getting a job. No issues with that. You have to quantify that 5 years for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how, any suggestions how to quantify?
You have to tell whatever is the truth. Don't be
Okay.
falsified, because we have in India now so crazy, I would say. There are background verification companies, they will dig you like anything, and they'll get the exact what have you done 5 years back. They even come to your home, they go to your neighbors, they go to your friends, they call. They are doing as good as they are CIDs only. So they grab the knowledge and then they present it to the employer. So therefore, please don't give any false information. Say whatever. If you have not done anything, say that you did not do anything. And why are you coming into job now? Maybe financial issues, financial strain. So person who is understandable will take you,
Okay.
but not at the designated position which you ask for. Suppose afterwards I want to actually lead a team. Can you give me 10 members? Not possible, boss.
Not possible.
We have to prove your worth, right?
Hmm.
So that's something which has to be proven.
ఓకే. సమ్మన్ హూ వర్క్, అంటే ఎవరో సేల్స్ లో ఆల్రెడీ చాలా వర్క్ చేసి ఎంటర్ అవుతుంటారు ఈ ఫీల్డ్.
So for them, both are same actually. If you are into sales and you want to come into finance, actually same field. But if you are in sales, then you should be, justifying that desk job is also can be done, because sales normally is not about desk job.
Yeah, yeah.
People might not like it sitting continuously. So this is a desk job.
Okay.
So you have to prove that yes, I am capable of doing that desk job.
That's job.
That is something very important, because in couple of interviews I personally asked, I make you sit for 8 hours, will you be able to sit? And say, how is this possible? I have to at least 2-3 hours and you take a break, right? I should meet people.
Yeah,
So this is the problem, you have it.
Okay.
So desk job is something very difficult. So they have to, if they adopt it, they are welcome.
Okay. Someone who is a programmer, like,
For a programmer, may not be that great career, because his life was into programming. But yes, for his livelihood, we can suggest him.
okay,
You can get into.
అంటే కెరీర్ అప్గ్రేడ్ అయినట్టా లేదంటే?
No, it is completely start of a career for a programmer.
Okay.
Because see, for a BSc, for a BTech graduate who is a commerce, who is recently qualified, or for a BSc guy, or for a BBA, MBA, it might be like little push, might be getting some premium, because he's having little bit of knowledge in understanding the processes. For a programmer, he understands only programming language. So for him, starting this will be like he might be joining at a very a lower level, or maybe entry level, and then he has to start his career. People are there. Such people are also there.
There.
Who have actually done 5-6 years in coding and everything, and they left their jobs and now they are working for US payrolls. We have Hinduja Global Solutions. Like, there's bigger companies actually. So they provide employment for these people, like process specific, accounts payable, HR, marketing. They even give for insurance, banking. Sitting here, they do it. AML, KYC. And you ask this, a BTech graduate, suppose if he wants to join into finance, AML, anti-money laundering, and KYC, know your customer norms, is one of the greatest area, because here some little bit of technical knowledge is needed along with finance knowledge.
Okay.
So not every BCom graduate can get that job, and not every BTech graduate can miss it.
Okay.
That is something I would say. AML and KYC is one of the good, but not easy job.
Okay.
Difficult one to get it. But once you get it, you are settled, you're wonderful.
Okay. So high packages, ఎంత ఉండొచ్చు maximum? Like, what is the largest package you've seen? Like, మీ స్టూడెంట్స్ లో కానీ మీకు తెలిసిన వాళ్ళలో కానీ మీరు చూసిన large
For BTech graduates who entered into finance, I've seen 4 lakhs is the minimum package what I've seen.
Okay.
And year on year, it is increasing by 6-7%, 10% odd. But for BCom graduates who have good exposure in some tools like SAP or Focus or things like that, they have been placed into organizations at 6 lakhs minimum packages also in 2024. And highest package what I've seen is a guy who has got 13 lakhs in one of the good company. So 13
with no
he has
experience.
got, with no experience, has got 13 lakhs. So he has completed 2 additional certifications, and that certifications are from I don't remember the institute, but it is mostly related to markets and securities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stock
That is
market
what, not
related
stock
to-
market basically. So there are other securities also. So stock market, if we talk, is a different one.
Okay.
So here we have, other than stock market, security courses are also there. So those courses he has completed, and from that reputed institute. So therefore he has got that
13 lakhs.
13 lakhs of package as well.
Okay. What is the highest extent anyone can go with an experience? Like, package ఎంత వరకు పెరగొచ్చు?
See, if you have 5 years experience, right, minimum, you can get about 15-16 lakhs also you have
Okay.
good knowledge.
Mhm.
And I have seen people who are now working as managers, senior managers, and even executive directors and all. They are drawing very high. It's like beyond the limits of imagination.
Can you any number?
I would say bare minimum they will have 37, 40 lakhs odd minimum.
Okay.
Okay, those managers,
Hmm.
senior managers, 40 lakhs is MNC which is paying.
Yeah.
If they are having about 10 years of experience or 8 years of experience also.
Hmm.
But good mindset and having, I would say, liberal views
Okay.
and good team management, they are paid.
Okay.
And there are people who are working for 20 years also, and they are getting only 30,000, 40,000 per
Yeah,
month
yeah,
also. That is also is possible.
ఓకే టెక్ లో యూజువల్లీ కంపెనీ షిఫ్ట్ అవుతూ ఉంటే శాలరీ పెరుగుతూ ఉంటది అంటారు.
Yes, that is very true.
ఓకే. Yeah.
The only reason is I work in one company for continuously 3-4 years. Every year I get a hike of maybe 8%, 10%
Yeah.
odd. If I shift a company,
Hmm.
straight away 30%,
Yeah,
40%, 50% is that I ask.
Yeah.
So depends upon company to company. Yeah, that is true.
Hmm.
But again, always the old culture question will come. There are so many shifts. How can we believe that you'll be sticking to
Yeah.
this? So that question might be coming to interview. But if you are justifying that answer, trust me, you can
ఓకే.
increase your steps
Definitely.
again and again. So that is possible. It's
Okay.
not that I can hold one company, and I should not be telling this, but whatever company I'm currently working, this is not the last company I'll be working for, right?
Mhm.
I might change also. I might go for anything other also.
Yeah.
So you also, you might not be working
Yes,
for this,
yes.
and you can be working for something else
Yeah.
as well.
Hmm.
So this is not the last company. So
Okay.
keeping the views always open is
Mhm.
important.
ఓకే. సో థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ నితేష్ గారు. ఎనీ ఫైనల్ అడ్వైస్ ఫర్ దోస్ వర్ లైక్ ఎంటర్ అవుతున్న వాళ్ళు, ఇప్పుడే ఫ్రెష్గా ఈ ఫీల్డ్లోకి ఎంటర్ అవుతున్న వాళ్ళకి ఏదైనా అడ్వైస్ కానీ?
One advice I would give is, see, since today your courses which are already designed by the government, maybe you might be into CBSE or any autonomous board, those courses are sufficient but not enough. Sufficient ki enough ki madhyalo chala difference ఉంటుంది. For that, what I would suggest is go for some certifications, extra certifications or extra courses which will help you. See, these are small 3 months, 4 months certifications here. You are spending 3 years, 4 years completing these courses.
Yeah.
You can't spend more 3 months. Happily you can do it. And trust me, this quote was told by my sir to me: an investment in knowledge pays you best interest. You spend 40,000 for a course. This 40,000 can come back in like 4 months or 3 months, whatever is. Once you get a job, suppose 1 lakh is a salary after you having this certification. Within 1 month, you can get back this money, right? So in terms of money also, you have to think about it. So the investment, what you put in your knowledge in the initial days, I know that in India, so many people are a little bit financially strained.
Yeah.
But still, if you put the money, trust me, your days will be wonderful. But if you don't put, then the problem is lower the risk, lower the return. Higher the risk, higher the probability of return.
Yeah.
Simple. So you take high risk, you get wonderful. Otherwise, gone case boss, you'll be staying there. You'll be actually, rugging. Every day you'll be scolding your employer, giving XYZ to him, and telling that, look, boss, you did not do well to me. So therefore, it's all our, roots which are not that strong. So my suggestion to you is, you put your investment as much as possible in your initial days, and you can flourish. And trust me, I have seen people who are normal BTech graduates with good certifications are earning wonderful. Even they are flying outside the countries also. They don't see education when they are flying. They only see how much experience you are catching, how much of your working knowledge you have it, how good are you at understanding the processes. So that is what is seen. Suppose if I ask about someone a process, you have to define that this starts from here, this starts ends here. So if you are unable to define this, very difficult. And you know what? Sometimes if I want to play with candidates on an interview, because I also take interviews, I ask them, every day if you come to office, experienced people, okay, you go to office morning 10 o'clock, you log in, evening 6 o'clock you come out. You tell me from 10 to 6 what do you do? Hourly basis you tell me. Simple question. You just tell me that you switched on the computer, you added this, then afterwards what did you do? After you was then lunchtime, then break time, what you did? Explain me exact 8 hours, sufficient. This shows the person's focus, his way of thinking, and suppose if there are gaps in between, how are you actually filling that gaps? So therefore, a person who knows how to fill the gaps is really a guy who can sell. So that way things can be easy.
Okay.
But simple question, very complicated answer. Okay.
How many can even answer that question?
Out of 10, 2 or 3 people have answered. Okay.
Okay.
Rest of the 7 said, we worked. We'd gone for a lunch. How many? 30 minutes and 20 minutes break.
Yeah.
Then what happened? We worked. Then 6 o'clock ho gaya, log out.
Okay.
But trust me, some people, tell very meticulously. They find nice solutions to it. They'll say, okay, we start our work, we prepare a planner, we discuss the planner with the manager, and then we get it approved. Then we start according to the plan. If there are any deviations, we again write to manager.
Okay.
We have calls, and we schedule the calls in such a way that we are not wasting other person's time also. So they, you know, talk very professionally. See, there is nothing which is defining profession. This is just how are you habiting yourself.
yes.
So that manage them, they'll talk, and those people will be surely selected.
Okay.
If you don't have knowledge also, that thing will be selected because of your scheduling or planner, something like that. Okay.
షూర్
Thank
థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. లైక్ మీరంతా నేర్చుకున్నది తెలియదు కానీ నేనైతే చాలా నేర్చుకున్నా ఈ ఫీల్డ్
you so
గురించి.
much.
అండ్ ఆల్సో సో థ్యాంక్ యూ నితీష్ గారు ఫర్ స్పెండింగ్ ద టైమ్ విత్ అస్, అండ్ ఆల్సో గివింగ్ అస్ లాట్స్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్సైట్స్ అండ్ టిప్స్ ఫర్ దిస్ ఫీల్డ్. సో నేనైతే మెయిన్ ఎక్కువ ఇంప్రెస్ అయింది అయితే లైక్ దేర్ ఆర్ ఫండ్ అకౌంటింగ్, దేర్ ఈస్ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ బ్యాంకింగ్ ఎక్సెట్రా అదర్ ఫీల్డ్స్ అదర్ దెన్ ఎస్ఏపీ ఆల్సో. సో ఆ ఫీల్డ్స్ గురించి డెఫినెట్లీ నాకైతే ఇంకొక పాడ్కాస్ట్ ఎస్పెషల్లీ ఆ ఫీల్డ్స్ గురించి చేయాలని ఉంది. డెఫినెట్లీ వెన్ ఎవర్ పాసిబుల్ విల్ డూ దట్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్.
Thank you so much. Great.
ఇట్స్ నైస్ హ్యావింగ్ యూ. సో గైస్ చూసారు కదా పాడ్కాస్ట్ కాదు ఇది, కంప్లీట్లీ ఇన్సైట్ఫుల్ వాల్యుబుల్ సెషన్ అనొచ్చు. సో ఇట్లాంటి సెషన్స్తో మళ్ళీ కలుద్దాం. అంటిల్ దెన్ థ్యాంక్ యూ గైస్. సో కీప్ వాచింగ్. సో థ్యాంక్ యూ గైస్. సో మీకు ఒకవేళ ఈ అకౌంటింగ్ ఫీల్డ్ గురించి కానీ ఎస్ఏపీ గురించి కానీ లేదంటే కనుక ఏ రిలేటెడ్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉన్నా సరే ఈ కమెంట్స్ సెక్షన్లో మెన్షన్ చేయండి. అండ్ ఆల్సో ఒకవేళ ఈ ఫీల్డ్స్ గురించి ఇంకా తెలుసుకోవాలి, ఒక డెమో సెషన్ ఏమన్నా వినాలి అనుకుంటే కనుక కింద డిస్క్రిప్షన్లోనే ఫామ్ అనేది ఫిల్ చేయండి. సో అంటిల్ నెక్స్ట్ వీడియో, థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. ఇంకా సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేస్తే కనుక ఛానల్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్.